One area of grave concern would be the declared change in U.S. trade policy.
After months of rising tensions, economic uncertainty, and mounting pressure, Caribbean leaders can no longer ignore the looming trade war between superpowers USA and China. At a critical turning point, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness finally steps forward to address the crisis that threatens the entire region. What was once a distant clash between economic giants has now become our problem. Rising prices, unstable markets, and foreign pressure are squeezing small island nations, forcing us to make impossible choices. Will we be pulled into the crossfire, forced to pick a side? Or will the Caribbean stand together and carve out its own path? This is more than politics. This is about our sovereignty, our economy, and the fate of every Jamaican. Drop a like if you believe Jamaica must stand strong. Subscribe if you demand bold leadership that puts Jamaicans first, because this conversation, it's just getting started.
And I'd like to invite my brother, Prime Minister Holness, to be able to address on the issue of the trade implications and aspects of the very challenging environment within which we have to prepare for other eventualities, but we do so with calm assurance. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Prime Minister Motley. First, let me say thanks to your government and the people of Barbados for the excellent arrangements and hospitality. My own view, Mayor, is that the meeting went very well. And I join with my brother Irfan in filing a claim to your Labour Department for having us work till 1 o'clock in the morning. But it was all good for the people of the region, and I believe...
I'm going to beg Prime Minister Davis to defend me. Thank you.
And I believe the people of CARICOM can feel confident in the leadership. The issues that were addressed were relevant issues for the development of the region, and we grappled with them in real ways to seek solutions. One area of grave concern would be the declared change in U.S. trade policy. Many businesses have reached out. The private sector is indeed concerned. I believe that the posture of CARICOM is that we must be prepared. We can't approach this with any panic, and we should also accept that with these changes, the concern shouldn't only be that there would be disruption in the normal routine of trade, but that there could also be great opportunities for the region. The region has a well-established office for trade negotiations, and it has worked very well for us, and we are using the incredible resources in that office to study the challenges that could come and to provide us guidance, all the governments in the region, guidance as to how we should structure our trade policy to both mitigate any fallout but take advantage of the opportunities. We will therefore be conducting a very detailed review of our trade situation with the United States, and we hope that in another 3 or 4 months we will have a document which will give us a policy direction and give advice and support to the governments of the region as to how to treat with any potential change that may happen in U.S. foreign policy. We also discussed issues of security, and I know that Prime Minister Rowley will deal with the security issues, but while I have the microphone, it is of critical importance that the region treats with the issues of gangs. and Jamaica has taken a very strong position on treating with gangs. We see gangs as an existential threat. Obviously, the ultimate case would be with the situation in Haiti. But we also see gangs acting in ways and committing acts that can only be described as acts of terror. And therefore, I have called in Jamaica, and I'm making the call now at this CARICOM platform, that there needs to be a global war on gangs in the same way that there is a global war on terror. If the gangs are allowed free rein, they will challenge the effectiveness and undermine states, which we are seeing happening not just in the region in CARICOM, but in the wider Central and South America region. So we discussed the issue. I believe there is general consensus that in addition to treating with the security issue from a public health perspective and treating with the root causes of social disenfranchisement and economic marginalization, that there needs to be a firm hand in treating with the gangs, particularly as it relates to the transnational element of the gangs, which means that the countries in the region would have to have greater cooperation and sharing of intelligence and resources in tackling this very grave threat.
Thank you, Andrew.
So now the question is, where does the Caribbean go from here? For decades, we have been caught in the shadows of global superpowers, forced to navigate a world where the rules are written by nations far bigger than ours. But how much longer can we afford to be pawns in their economic battles, when we have the power to stand on our own? Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Guyana, the entire Caribbean, we are stronger together. But will our leaders have the courage to put our people first, to reject outside pressure, and forge a new path forward? Or will we watch, yet again, as powerful nations make decisions that leave us scrambling to survive? Drop a comment below. Should Jamaica and the Caribbean unite for economic independence, or is aligning with a superpower the only way forward? Like this video if you believe it's time for our region to rise. And subscribe, because this conversation is far from over.
One area of grave concern would be the declared change in U.S. trade policy.
Broken by the Jamaicans, 42.59.